It's New Year's Day. That's what it is today. New Year's Day. Every day you wake up, you have a chance to change your life. Every day. What is your resolution? Okay, here we are. It's Monday. And it's January 1st. New Year's Day. New Year's Day. But before I talk about your New Year's resolutions, everybody has New Year's resolutions, John. Everybody. You know, they start off with New Year's resolutions. And then what happens? Tell me, what the fuck happens?
The funniest things are the gyms.
Oh, the gym. You know the gym makes the most money on the week after New Year's?
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the truth. And then everybody signs up and then they never go anymore. Anyway, before I do that, it's Monday, it's 11 o'clock. It's the Chazz Palminteri Show. So many things to talk about. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, New Year's resolutions, and what happens on these days. But first, I want to tell you about a great gift, Chazz Palminteri's A Bronx Tale Premium Cigars. I'm telling you, look at this thing. It looks like a Ferrari box. It's selling out. All you have to do is go to casagrande.com and pick one of these up. Look at this. You want to see a classic box? Look at this. Look at that. And there's a great story in there about how I dedicate the cigar to my grandfather, Calogero, who I'm named after, have you know, and all the immigrants who came to this country looking for a better life, not just Italian Americans, folks, whether you be Jewish, whether you be Irish, whether you be African American, Hispanic, we are all a nation of immigrants. That's what we're a country of immigrants. So to give this to your mom, your dad, and say thank you for coming to this country, whether they are cigar smokers or not, it's a great gift. We also have, if you go to lacasagrande.com, we have a great new thing that we're known for. It's called fresh cigars, just made, and then you smoke it within 24 hours. How's that?
Primo Fresca.
Primo Fresca, that's right. Nobody does that. Nobody. But Paul DeSilvio, who's the genius behind this, he's been selling these fresh cigars quietly for the past 30 years and built an empire. But now we are giving it to the masses. You order, you will have your cigars shipped within 48 hours. That's a fresh cigar. And if you can't smoke it for whatever reason, put it in your humidor, wait 7-8 months. It's fantastic. But the first 48 hours, actually the first maybe 72 hours is amazing. It is rolled from the table to your lips. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. lacasagrande.com. And, hey, you want to go to my website? I mean, these are selling out. Now you can't leave. And the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Go to chazzpalminteri.com. Also, my stuff with Michael Francis, The Wise and the Wise Guy. Go to the website. Go to Michael Francis' website or mine. And click on the link where it says The Wise and the Wise Guy. My restaurants. I got to tell you this story before we get into the New Year's resolutions. John, you're not going to believe this. You know I have two of the best restaurants, around. I never say it's the best restaurant because there's a lot of great Italian. I would say there's some great Italian restaurants in New York. There's a whole bunch of them. But I put mine in the top 5. I put it in the top 5. Service, food, absolutely. Are there a lot of great restaurants in New York? No question. You know, I go to Carbone's. I love Carbone's. It's different than my restaurant, a different experience. You know, La Scanatella, another great restaurant. A whole bunch of wonderful Italian restaurants in New York. I love New York, and I'd like to give a shout out to all these people. But, hey, you know, uptown, downtown, what is it? La Carbonara. That's on the 72nd. That's another great restaurant. Check them out. They're all good. But if you want a special experience, I have to tell you about this. I'm in Manhattan, right? A couple of days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago. And I get a call from the maitre d', Nicola. And he says, Chazz, are you in the area? I says, yeah. I said, I happen to be like, in the 50s. My restaurant's on 30 West 46th Street, Chazz Palminteri. I said, yeah, I'm in the 50s. Why? He goes, you got to come down here. I go, what's going on? He goes, a guy told me that listen to this, John. You couldn't make this up. You couldn't write this. Him and his wife, on their first date, okay, they went to go see a Bronx Tale. I mean, they watched the Bronx Tale on TV. He told her about this movie. They're both Italian. He said, oh, you never saw it. He goes, let's go on a date. Then you come over and we'll watch this movie. Sounds like a little bit of a scam, but no, he said, because she said she heard about it, but she never saw it. They go on a beautiful date. He takes her to see the movie. He shows her the movie. They're dating. They've been together now, I think he said like almost 2 years. Okay, so he tells Nicola he's getting engaged and he wants to get engaged at my restaurant. He's going to give her the ring at the restaurant. Could they make it special, come out, on a birthday? It was a birthday. Happy birthday. And then he's going to get on his knee and ask her to marry him. All because, I can't say it's because of Bronx Tale, but to my restaurant, they both love the movie. They're both Italian-American. He calls me and tells me this is going on. I said, okay. I tell my driver, all right, let's go to the restaurant. I'm outside, right? I'm outside with Bobby. They come out, they wish a happy birthday. This guy gets on his knee. There's people there, they're, asking to marry him. She says yes. The place claps. He tells me, Chazz, come in. I walk in the restaurant. They don't know. They see me. Jaws dropped. And I walk in. She's looking at me. She's like, I think she starts crying. She has tears in her eyes. He's stunned. And I said, listen, your future husband said how wonderful this is if I could stop by and wish you personally. He's like looking at me. She's screaming. It was everybody applauding. It was insane.
That's a beautiful thing.
I mean, talk about spur of the moment. I mean, holy shit. I mean, is that a story? We took photos together. It was their first date. They went out to dinner. They went to my restaurant, and he took her home to watch Bronx Tale 2 years ago. And this, where they are now, where they get engaged. And I come walking in and wish them. So, where am I going with all this? I think it's just a great story. It's a very romantic place, Chazz Palminteri's, both of them, but especially the one in the city. Really romantic. If you have a special date. Look, you can't expect me to show up all the time now. That just happened to be where it was one of those once-in-a-lifetime things. If you're going to get engaged, go to my restaurant. Tell the owner, listen, if I'm around, I'll stop by and say hi. What can I say? 30 West 46th Street, a great restaurant.
I love that. It's funny. It's almost like a rite of passage because I remember one of the first dates I had with my wife. This is before I even knew you. I hadn't seen a Bronx Tale at that point.
Right.
Or I did, and I forgot about it because I was so young. She made me watch a Bronx Tale. It was
Really?
almost like a rite of passage. She sat me down and she's like, you have to watch this movie.
Wow. I didn't know that.
No, this is the first time I'm telling you that.
But
yeah,
you're already married, right?
I'm married right now, but I'm saying like when we first started going
Right.
out, she made me watch a Bronx Tale.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, what is this? Bobby's calling me. What does Bobby want? Bobby, why does he drive me crazy? My driver drives me. Oh, he says, okay. 9 messages to say okay. Anyway. Hey, I had to tell that story, but this is a great, it's just a great day. I mean, New Year's Day. John, I got to tell everybody, before I forget, we're talking about Bronx Tale. You got to come and see the One-Man Show. The One-Man Show is the show that started it all. Before the movie, before the musical. I play all 18 parts, folks. All 18 parts. That's right. And this is the show that De Niro saw, that obviously, and I got some big news coming about this, but it's a little too early to talk about it. But we'll talk about it as it gets closer. John, where am I going to be? I'm in Florida in January, right?
Well, you're going to be in there for 2 dates. You're going to be January 5th. You're going to be in Naples, Florida at the Artis Performing Arts Center.
At the Artis Performing Arts Center in Naples, Florida. Go ahead.
And then on the 7th, you're going to be in Steinmetz Hall in Orlando, Florida.
What is it called?
Steinmetz Hall.
Oh, that's a great place. I heard about that. I never played there before. But please, Naples and Orlando.
And then on the 21st, you have your favorite venue. It's the Paramount Theater in Huntington.
The Paramount Theater in Huntington. I have been there, 25 times. People just come back and back 25 times. Bring your girlfriend or bring your boyfriend to come and see A Bronx Tale. It's a very romantic, it's a very touching show, I think. Obviously it makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it even scares you. It's just a great show. Alfred Hitchcock used to say, there's only 3 things you could do to an audience, and if you do 2 of them, you gotta hit. You can make them laugh, you can make them cry, or you could scare them. Well, in Bronx Tale, I do all 3. Not just 2, I do all 3. So,
and then if you go even further into February, you're going back to Florida. It seems like you like it there a lot. So you're going to be in West Palm Beach at the Kravitz Performing Arts Center.
West Palm Beach at the Kravitz Performing Arts Center.
February 8th.
That is a great place. I love that place. It's beautiful, beautiful. That's February 8th. So please come on down. Check me out if you're in Florida. If you're at the Paramount in Huntington. What a great place. I love, one of my favorite places ever to play. Okay, it's New Year's Day. That's what it is today, New Year's Day. So, what is your resolution? What is it? Everybody says the same thing. You know what's funny? You know what's funny about life, John? I always tell people, you don't have to wait to New Year's Day. Every day you wake up, you have a chance to change your life. Every day. You wake up, you have a chance to change your life. You know what it is? People think it's so hard to change your life. And it is. But you have to decide. I remember, because I do a lot of, I read a lot. I try to. And I read a lot about the Stoics. Discipline is destiny. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Oedipus. I got to tell you, these guys, don't forget, there was no internet back then, no TV. You say to yourself, these are like 2,000 years before Christ. How the hell did they do this? Well, they did it because they just sat around and talked and thought and kept thinking. People don't realize how theater started. The Greeks started because you had all these philosophers, smart minds, sitting around talking. Did you know this is how theater started, John? They were sitting around talking. Why do men do this? Why is this? Why is life this? And then they said, well, gee, why don't we act it out? So they would have 2 men talk like improv, and everybody else would watch. And that's how, actually, when theater started, you didn't have women because they were all men who were doing this. So they kept the tradition about men would play women's parts. But anyway, in the beginning, it was just 2 men talking in a circle, and they would listen to them and say, well, gee, if the guy said this, if the guy said that. So what happened was, one of the philosophers, I don't know which one it was looking at this, and people were hearing about it. And he said, this shit's pretty good. I'm going to sneak some people in. And so some people would sneak in and watch it. And it's like everything else in life. Before you knew it, they were charging people to come in and watch these 2 people or 3 people act out situations on stage. And that's how theater started. The Greeks, talk about the Greeks, man. They started this, and that's how these brilliant minds would act these situations out and then comment on it. That's why I love to write theater. You know, Edward Albee, who I love, great writer. And he said, if you leave the theater and you're worried about where you parked your car, I didn't do my job. You have to leave his plays thinking about what you just saw, how that affects you in your life. How does that change you? Do you ever see a great play or a great movie? It stays with you for a long time. I mean, I know a lot of people, and again, my little bias probably, when people see a Bronx Tale, whether it be the one-man show, whether it be the movie with Robert De Niro, he directed that, and whether it be the musical uh, that Bob and the great Jerry Zaks directed, the music written by Alan Menken and Glenn Slater. I mean, a great musical that when you leave there, you think about what you just saw. I mean, I think that's important. So, it's New Year's Day. Discipline. One of the first things that Oedipus said, he said, everything comes down to in life is persist or resist. Do you pursue it or do you back off? Think about that. Every decision you make is, you pursue it or you just go, no. I mean, it sounds simple enough, right? Do you want to do it or do you don't want to do it? It really starts off with bad habits. Your bad habits. It's the little things. There was a wonderful philosopher. I love to give credit. Sometimes I forgot his name. He's on the internet.
What's the quote?
The quote is, show me a man what he does every day and I'll tell you if he's going to be a success or he is a success. I forgot his name, but it's your daily habits. What are your daily habits? Think about that, folks. For those of you who are listening to me, you know what was a great habit that I broke that I'm so glad I did? I would wake up and I would grab my phone and I would lay in bed for an hour and just go over the internet, what's going on in the world. And you know what? An hour turned into an hour and a half. And it was like, I got off on the wrong foot. I got off on the wrong foot, folks. And I broke that habit. And now I have so much more time during the day. I actually get up. I usually wake up at like 7, which is not that late. People wake up at 4 or 5. I find 7, sometimes 6, but to be honest, 7. I'll wake up, and the first thing I do, because I think about it the night before, you have to plan your day the night before. You say, all right, and you write it down. This is what I'm doing. Does that sound hard? In the beginning, yeah, it is. Because you want to wake up and just do what you want to do. I mean, people have to go to work. I'm fortunate enough where, I work, but I work on my schedule. So I wake up at 7, and the first thing I do is I walk out onto my balcony, and I do breath work. I do 3 sets of 30. Really a lot of breath work, exercising the lungs. I forgot his name. Oh God, I hate this. What a great guy on the. I have to get more of these guys' names because I want to give them credit. And I do this breath work, and I do that, and it just puts you in a great mood. It's the most. He says it changes your rhythm. It opens up your mind. And I said, come on, stop the bullshit. So I started doing it. He said, you don't have to start off with 30. I would do 10, wait a second, do another 10, wait a second, do another. Then I got up to 20. Now I'm up to the 30 that he suggests. I finish that. I go in I go back into the bedroom. I go into the bathroom and I take a shower. I start off with heat. I do. And I turn as cold as I can. I hate it. You hear what I said? I hate it. I cannot deny you that I hate it. And sometimes I want to curse myself for doing it, but I start off with hot and I go as cold as I could stand, and I try to stay 3 minutes in a cold shower. Do I sometimes chicken out after 2 minutes? Yeah, I got to be honest. But I try to stay 3 minutes. And it's down to the Stoics who say, who's in charge? Who's in charge? Are your demons in charge or you're in charge? Are you in charge of your life or not? Oh, I can't stop smoking. Oh, I can't stop wasting the day. Oh, I can't stop watching porn. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. Who's in charge? If you're in charge, you gotta say, you know what? I'm in charge here. Hold on 1 second here. You got to get tough with yourself. And now I'm telling you what I do. And I'm telling you it took years to try to do all this together. But I do it finally. I take a shower, finish that. I go downstairs. I work out for 45 to an hour. Weights, cardio, 5, 6 days a week. I do push-pull. Push one day, pull the next, legs the next. Push, pull, legs. But in the midst of all those, I do cardio right after that. Okay, which takes about an hour. That's all. You do resistance training, which they're proving now really keeps you young. Really keeps you. How do people die when they get older? You get in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they fall. That's how most people ruin their life. Most people, older people, they fall. And once you fall and you break your hip or your femur, they say you're within a year and a half, you're gone. I mean, you're in your 80s or 90s and you break your hip and you can't move anymore. That's it. You're toast. So the stronger you are, the stronger you resist. Let me tell you something. I was on the ice, John, about 3 weeks ago. There was like ice on my lawn. It was like a little hill there, and I had my slippers on, which was stupid. But I had the dog out there with me, and I went to go down the little hill, and I slipped, and I did a split. But really, really like, I have it on the film. I got to show it to you. I really split, and I went, and I was hurt. When I say hurt, it was painful and it was swollen, a little bit, but I thought I ripped my quad. I thought I pulled my knee out. I thought I tore my ACL. I didn't know. But I was able to walk and put ice, and I was able to be okay. It took a few weeks to really get better. Look, I got to give a shout out to my doctor, my orthopedic guy, Dr. Gabe Dasa. I mean, Gabe, Doc, this guy really helped me out, came over, said, look, you examined me, you didn't do anything, prescribed ice, no needles. I didn't need any needles because I had to do a show in like 10 days. But he prescribed what to do, and I'm telling you, it was like a miracle. So a big shout out to Dr. Gabe Dasa. D-A-S-S-A.
D-A-S-S-A.
I think I said it right. You need an orthopedic surgeon, go see him. The guy's fantastic. Really good guy. Anyway, so, and how come and nobody said to me, the reason why you didn't get really hurt is because you're in shape and you work out. He said, because if you weren't, forget it. You would have been toast. My muscles were strong. My legs were strong. So, no muscles were pulled or anything happened, thank God. So as you get older, you got to do this for yourself, folks. Everybody goes, oh, because they look at it like, I can't do it. Oh, my God, I got to work out. Small steps. I started with, resistance training. Well, I've always worked out with weights, but I started light and I built heavier and heavier and heavier. And I work out, and you know what else is great? And I tell all my friends who are my age, hanging, folks. You got to hang. Does that sound crazy? You just hang. You grab the, You can buy these. You don't have to go to a gym to hang. You can get these bars. It's a bar. You hook it up in your door if you have to. You get it on Amazon. It's about $28, $30. I mean, in my gym, I put a bar up high so I could stand straight and hold it. But some people, they don't have that. You put the thing in the door, you put up your legs a little bit, and you hang. They are saying now, hanging is one of the best things you could do. Now, come on, hanging? If you can't hang, something's wrong. Now, is it easy when you start? No. I had my friends do this, my age, and they said, well, how long do you hang for, Chazz? I said, well, look, I've been doing it a year now, so don't go by me. So I can hang for 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm trying to do 2 minutes, but I don't know what happens after 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's really hard for me to hold on. But a guy my age, if you can hold for 1 minute, it's amazing. 1 minute. And you say, come on, I can hold on to a bar 1 minute. Yeah, really? Try it. Try it. But grip strength will tell you how strong you are, how healthy you are. If you go on, now you might only hang for, don't laugh, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Let go. Don't hurt yourself. Every day you go back to the bar. After a while, 10 seconds becomes 15, 15 becomes 20, 20 becomes 25, and all of a sudden you're doing 30 seconds. Now, if you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, and you're doing 30 seconds, that's pretty good. You're building up your grip strength. Why is that important? If you fall, you grab something. If you're on a banister, your grip strength tells you. You fall down, you put your hands in front of you, you hold up from hitting your face on the floor. This is really important, folks. And any young people out there, tell your parents, and you should hang too. If your parents are my age, then you should hang too, because that means you're in your 30s or 40s. Okay? Hanging is very, very important. Go on Google. If you don't believe me, I'm not a doctor here. Go on Google and say the benefits of a dead hang. Check it out. Now, I do both. I dead hang from my hands and I dead hang from my feet. I have one of those inversion tables, so.
I just pulled it up, and the top 10 benefits, you got improved grip strength, enhanced upper body strength, scapular health, joint decomposition, improved posture, core activation, increased flexibility, simple and accessible exercise, mental focus and relaxation, shoulder rehabilitation.
Shoulder, yeah. I used to have, when I would do weights, sometimes I had pains in my shoulder. I don't have them anymore. Because when you're holding that thing, everything is getting stretched here. Everything is building up strength. It's all about strength as you get older. So those of you out there in your late 60s and early 70s, 80s, you could be 90. People go, oh, you're 90, you can't start working out. No, bullshit. That's bullshit. These are myths. Hey, I'm 85, I'm 90, I can't work out. No. 2 things. If you do this, a few things. You do 10 squats a day, dead hang, and walk. Just do that. Just do that, folks. Watch the improvement. Okay? I went off on a tangent here, but so that's what I do. I wake up, okay, I do my breath work, I take the cold shower, I work out for an hour, and then I write. And I write for, in the day, 3 to 4 hours. That's it. No longer than that. Can I do longer than that? Yeah, but, I was told by a wonderful writer, Arthur Miller, who said, when you're writing, and he would do this, when you're writing and all of a sudden you would, and he was one of my favorite writers, Arthur Miller. And he said that when you have a great idea and after it's about 3 or 4 hours, stop. And you would say, why? Why are you forgetting the idea? No, don't forget. Just write the idea down on the paper. Tomorrow I work on this scene I have an idea for. And you write just the topic down. So then the next day you're excited to go to the computer because you have this idea. If you write, I used to write 10 hours sometimes, 12 hours. I'd be burnt out. The next day I'd be like, oh man, what am I going to do today? And it's counterproductive. So now after 3-4 hours, I stop, especially if I have a great idea. And then I write the idea the next day. It's a good thing to do if you're a writer out there. I mean, it works for me. Some people, maybe it might not work. I mean, look, I'm giving you my ultimate day here that I try to do. And again, I don't want to be condescending and like, who am I? But do I fuck this up sometime? Yeah. I mean, but if I could nail it like 4 days out of the 7, and the other days I almost nail it, I'm happy. I'm happy. Do I get a spurt where I'm traveling or this happened? Yeah, that happens too. But the more you do it the right way, then it forgives you for those other days, folks. Okay, I write, and then at 5:30, I'm with my wife. I have a son, he lives in LA, and my daughter is in Michigan, University of Michigan. They both have careers, but when they're here, I want to be with them, have dinner with them. Having dinner and sitting down with the family is really big. And boy, do I like to do that, but sometimes I screw up. And my kids, they call me on the carpet. They go, hey, Dad, what do you want to do? Could we have a life here? Could you come in and have dinner with us? And they're right. They're right. I can't say they're not. They're right. So I'm saying to you today, on New Year's Day, again, you don't have to wait for New Year's Day. You could do this anytime. The great thing about life is Napoleon Hill, who wrote the great book, Think and Grow Rich, it's always your next move. It's always your next move. You could change your life at any time.
I have a good quote that we could end the episode on. It says, It's from Marcus Aurelius. It says, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love.
That's beautiful. Wow. Yeah, I mean, be thankful. And that's the other thing. I'm going to leave you with this, folks. That was my day. That's what I try to do. So try to do your day. You don't have to do my day. You do what you have. So you know what? I'm going to wake up. I'm not going to look at my phone for the first hour. If you could just do that. Just do that. Talk to your wife. Listen, I'm guilty of it. She's guilty of it too. We'll wake up. She grabs her phone. I grab mine. And we're in bed for an hour. And we're like looking at everything on the phone. We're not connecting. We're not communicating. Wake up. I do, like I said, go exercise. You don't have to do your breath work. You could do exercise for a half hour. You know what? You and your wife could go for a walk. You can go for a walk and you could talk as you walk. Put the phone down. Say, you know what? Let's go walk for a walk now outside. You go for a nice half hour, 40-minute, 1 hour walk. Come back, you can look at your phones. Try that. You got to connect. I'm telling you, these machines and these things just stop you from connecting. They stop you. Machines and the phone and all this AI bullshit, we thought it was going to make our life, give us more time. It's given us less time.
That actually changed my life. I stopped looking at my phone for the first hour I've been up.
Yeah.
For probably the past year, and I swear to God, it changed my life drastically.
Well, they prove it changes your rhythms in your brain. Don't do it. Don't look at it. Do something. Connect with your wife. Go for a walk. Do something. Well, I tell you what, it's New Year's Day, so I'm glad. Look, Happy New Year, everybody. Don't forget our Bronx Tale cigars. Look at this. It's a Ferrari box. LaCasaGrande.com.
LCGcigars.com.
Oh, it's LCGcigars.com. LCGcigars.com. And you can get the Primo Fresh ones, Primo Fresca.
Primo Fresca.
Paul DeSilvio, the man who started this, made an incredible business out of it. But now we're putting it online and giving it to you. and Now You Can't Leave, and The Saddest Thing in Life is Wasted Talent. My website, ChazzPalminteri.net. Don't forget Florida, right, John?
Florida, you'll be in Naples, Florida on the 5th at the Artistes Performing Arts Center.
Right.
The 7th, Steinmetz Hall, and then back in Huntington on January 21st.
On 21st. And then in February, I'll be at
Back in Florida.
At West Palm Beach at the
Kravitz Performing Arts Center. Yep, on the 8th.
Folks, I know there's some tickets left. You got to call up because, the show is bigger than ever, and God bless. And listen, if you're thinking about getting engaged, stop by my restaurant. You never know. I could be in the area like this. I mean, this was pretty amazing. I don't want to say their names because they just loved it, and they'll have a memory that'll last the rest of their life. Hey, invite me to the wedding. Just kidding. I can't make it. Okay. God bless you. This is Chazz Palminteri, and don't forget my restaurant's 30 West 46th Street and 264 Main Street in White Plains. God bless you. See you next week.